Recovery from any pain takes time. It's a process that can't be rushed. Several years ago, I discovered I needed surgery on my ankle. The doctor had tried every option to avoid the surgery, but nothing had helped. He cautioned that the recovery would be slow, but if I followed his plan, I would walk without pain. I diligently followed his directives, except for the daily exercises. At a follow-up appointment, he noticed that my muscles weren't responding as they should. Quickly, he deduced my lack of daily exercises and warned me I'd be back for a repeat surgery if I didn't comply. The hardest part about recovery? Being diligent to follow the doctor's orders and do the exercises designed to strengthen the damaged body part. Well, how about when that recovery is emotional, mental, and spiritual? At the beginning of our recovery from my husband's porn addiction, I thought it was all about him. I didn't understand the help and growth I needed. However, it didn't take long before God allowed me to be confronted and challenged about my need to heal. At that point, I wasn't sure if my marriage would survive or even if I wanted it to. I desperately desired a recovery checklist to work through so I could get past this horrible pain and just move on. In the years since, this seems to be a common response to betrayal. What do I need to do to deal with this and get back to my life? Here are 10 realities I discovered about recovery, whether physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. Recovery is, first, an individualized process. Not every person's body, mind, emotions, or spirit heals the same way. A person in recovery needs to allow themselves to heal at their own pace. It is a series of small, incremental steps to work through the trauma. No one dictates how another person recovers, and no two people recover at the same rate. Number 2, it's not linear. Some days I felt like I made huge steps forward. That was really exciting. But there were others where I felt like I moved backward. On those days, it was easy to fall into the I'm a failure trap. It wasn't true. This forward and backward movement is a normal part of the process. I had to learn to be gracious to myself during the process. Number 3, dependent on the work you do. No one can make you recover. You choose it every day. After surgery, you can do the recovery exercises or not. The doctor or physical therapist can't force you to do the work. They can teach you how to do the exercises correctly, but you have to do them. It's the same thing when recovering from a heart wound. Your counselor or coach can help you understand what needs to be overcome, but you do the internal work to change your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes so you can move forward. Number 4, daily work. You don't get a vacation from recovery. Yeah, some days are easier than others. However, each day you choose to take the next step. You decide to leave behind the past thoughts and habits which led to this crisis. 5, recovery is possible. Surprisingly, determining that I could recover and wanted to was the biggest hurdle to overcome. At some point during recovery, I realized this truth. If I didn't choose to recover, I wouldn't. I'd be stuck in the destructive patterns that led to my suicidal depression and anxiety. Number 6, recovery is necessary. It's difficult to watch someone in pain decide not to follow the plan which brings relief. Now, this illustration breaks down when dealing with diseases, but I get that. When there is a way to move forward beyond the destructive lifestyle and a person chooses to stay stuck, no one can help. To recover, you and I must choose to do the necessary work. Change is imperative. Number 7, recovery is painful. Perhaps a more difficult realization, recovery means more pain. When you're reeling from the pain of your spouse's betrayal, addiction, or other destructive habits, you may not want to face anymore. But recovery means looking honestly at yourself, uncovering what got you to this point, and making the changes. It means you probably have to have some difficult conversations with your spouse about your marriage relationship. You might need to come clean about lies you believe or secrets you're protecting. Number 8, recovery is encouraging. Lasting recovery is amazing. There's nothing like looking back at who you were and seeing how you've changed. Each step forward brings new hope and a brightness to your outlook. When doing the physical therapy for my surgery recovery, the physical therapist measured my progress in centimeters. While that seemed minimal to me, my therapist celebrated each milestone. Number 9, recovery is exciting. Nothing changes your mood like excitement. And that's what you experience during recovery when you move beyond unhealthy habits to new healthy practices. Each lie overcome, unhealthy practice changed, and healthy boundaries set and kept brings new hope and joy for life. Number 10, recovery is life-giving. As difficult as recovery is, you experience new life at each step in your journey. During the worst of my depression, life seemed colorless and dreary. The color returned with each step toward healthy emotions, mindset, and thoughts. The spiritual struggle I dealt with caused me to seek the God of the Bible. What I discovered changed my relationship with God, challenged my earlier beliefs, and shattered my preconceived notions. All these necessary changes restored my hope and brought new life. None of these discoveries about recovery are clinical, yet each one changed my life in some way. The first hurdle to overcome was the willingness to leave the status quo and change. Arguably, that was probably my most difficult hurdle. Just like the decision to undergo surgery on my ankle to correct the problem, the first choice to recover from your wounds caused by your husband's porn addiction may be your hardest. You can choose to stay where you are, justify your habits and actions, or you can choose to face the pain head on and recover. It's completely up to you. For your sake, I pray you choose to recover. When you do, there's hope and healing available. Hop on over to KirstenDSamuel.com. Click the blue button. Let's talk.